Hello YouTube, Robert here from Duelist Revolution, providing another commentary for you guys. Today we have a friendly feature match between Swai on the right playing his Infernities that you all love so much, and me on the left playing my Lightsworn ruler deck. So Swai opens up with an Armageddon Knight, which allows him to send a dark monster from his deck directly to the graveyard. And as we all know, Swai plays his Infernity with Burning Abyss and Shadow monsters, so he has a variety of options right here. Sending a Shadow Falcon, which special summons itself by its effect in face down defense position. You might wonder why he chooses to pick a Falcon at this point, because he doesn't have anything to reborn with it as in the graveyard, but his face downs might be the key to that, as I believe one of the cards is an Infernity Inferno and he has a beast on hand, so he can set up his grave. Me activating a Charge of the Light Brigade, billing 3 cards to the graveyard to add a level 4 or lower Lightsworn monster from the deck to the hand. Always a great card to have in your opening hand with Lightsworn, especially when combined with the Solar Recharge, the other card in hand. So adding a Lumina, Lightsworn Sorcerers. Activating Solar Recharge, discarding 1 Lightsworn monster, drawing 2 cards, and then sending the top 2 cards of the deck to the graveyard. Drawing into 2 Curry Bandits, and milling a Tidal, Dragon Ruler, Waterfalls, and a Breakthrough Skill. Like I said, opening with Charge of the Light Brigade and a Solar Recharge first turn is always a great setup or start for Lightsworn, because they kinda need the mills to get going, as we all know. Summoning Curry Bandit. Trying to remember that defense of the Shadow Falco, which is more than Curry Bandit's attack, so that's why I did it attack. Going to the end phase, tributing Curry Bandit, and Swipe chaining his Infernity Inferno, discarding a Shadow Beast and a Infernity Randomizer, sending from his deck to the graveyard an Infernity Archfiend and an Infernity Avenger. So that's why he set the Falco in defense mode. Infernity Beach allows him to draw a card, and I have to excavate the top 5 cards from my deck for Curry Bandit's effect. Excavating a Minerva, a Judgment Dragon, a Lila, a Solar Recharge, and a Gorse. Adding the Solar Recharge to the hand with the effect of Curry Bandit, and then sending another card to the graveyard with Minerva's effect. So the graveyard is pretty full for the first turn. Swipe flipping his Shadow Falco to trying to reborn the beast in face on the defense position, but a Breakthrough Skill is chained, negating its effect, so he decides to attack with both monsters for 2000 damage in total. Setting another back row and passing his turn. Me activating another Solar Recharge, discarding Raiden, Hand of the Lightsworn, drawing a Phoenix Wing Wingblast and a Lila, and sending a Wolf and a Honest to the graveyard. Wolf, of course, special summons itself by the effect when it's sent to the graveyard. So that's a bit sacky, but yeah, that's what Lightsworn is all about, of course. Summoning a Lumina, activating the effect, discarding a Necrogardna to the graveyard, which we rather have in graveyard than in hand, of course. Reborning the Raiden, activating the effect, sending the top 2 cards of the deck to the graveyard, meaning not 1 but 2 Eclipse Wyverns, which is really sacky. That allows me to banish 2 Judgment Dragons from my deck, and when the Eclipse Wyverns are banished, I can add the Judgment Dragons back to my hand. This, of course, making sure that the Judgment Dragons are, yeah, kind of safe from being milled. Synchro summoning the Raiden and the Lumina to a level 7 monster, a Black Rose Dragon, clearing the field, except for the Shadow Falcon, who reborns itself with his effect. Checking the graveyard to activate the effect of Tidal, Dragon Ruler of Waterfalls, banishing 2 Eclipse Wyverns. And as I mentioned before, I get to add back the 2 Judgment Dragons. So that's the sackiness power of Lightsworn. Once you mill the correct cards, it's just pretty hard to stop, even for current meta decks. Tidal attacks over the Shadow Falcon, no effect because we already used the effect, but Infernity Avenger can special summon itself since the monster is destroyed by battle. So Judgment Dragon attacks the Infernity Avenger, and then the other Judgment Dragon attacks Swai for 500 life points. 3000 life points, bringing him down to 5000. And the 2 Judgment Dragons are being overlaid for Felgrand. Zwei now fieldless and handless has to have a pretty good top deck to get out of it, but he top decks a warning, so he concedes his game 1. Fairly quick game 1, but as I said, once Lightsworn starts with a good hand, it's so explosive, there isn't really much you can do about it. The only reason why it isn't tier 1 or meta is because it's not consistent, as milling barely is consistent. As you can see for now, game 2, my hand is also pretty terrible. Well, at least I have a Raiden, but Zwei opens with 4 back row and activating Bottomless Trapple in response to the summon of the Raiden. So I set 2 back row, a Foolish Burial and a Malevolent Catastrophe. Zwei having an Infernity Launcher and a Shuttle Beast on hand. And passing his turn, he drawing into another card, it's the Lumina. And he responds with Torrential Tribute, so he's not letting me mill. That's probably for the best, because once I start to mill I can get my engine going. He activating his Infernity Inferno, ditching his Infernity Archfiend and Shadow Beast to send 2 more Infernity monsters to the graveyard. Infernity Avenger and Infernity Necromancer. And of course the Shadow Beast is sent to the graveyard, which allows him to draw an extra card. And that is a reinforcement of the army. Searching a Armageddonite, summoning the Armageddonite, sending a Shadow Falco, or Dragon, my bad, Dragon to the graveyard, popping a back row. Fortunately it's not the Malevolent Catastrophe, but the Foolish Burial. Activating the Infernity Launcher, which allows him to reborn 2 Infernity monsters from graveyard by tributing it. Reborning a Necromancer and a Archfiend. The Archfiend now has his effect because it's special summoned while Zwei is handless, so he gets to search an Infernity card from his deck. Searching out the Infernity Break. And reborning the Infernity Avenger with the Infernity Necromancer. Synchro summoning for a level 8 monster, which is the Hundred Eyes Dragon. Hundred Eyes Dragon allows him to banish a level 4, a Fiend type monster with 2000 attack from his graveyard, I believe, and until the end of the turn, Hundred Eyes Dragon gains the name and the effect of that monster. So he banishes a Necromancer, which allows him to reborn the Archfiend once again, and because Archfiend is special summoned, he can search out another Infernity card, so it's a small loop he does to give him an extra plus, and leaves him with a 3000 beater. Infernity Archfiend attacks, Malevolent Catastrophe is responded, so that clears all of his back row that he searched. That's pretty tough, but he still swings by for a ton of damage, leaving me with only 1800 life points left. Main phase 2 overlays is Archfiend and Armageddonite for Lavalval Chain, ditching a Shadow Falcon which special summons itself in face down defense position. I draw into another Lumina, which is a fairly decent top deck, since I can finally start milling, since Zwei doesn't have any back row left, thanks to the Malevolent Catastrophe. Summoning the Lumina. Activating the effect of the Lumina, discarding a Blaster, special summoning another copy of Lumina in defense position from the graveyard. Lumina attacks 100 Ice Dragons, and Honest is activated in a damage step, so making the Lumina 4000 attack and dealing 1000 damage to Zwei. End phase. Both Lumina's trigger have to mill 6 cards, one of them which is a wolf, which special summons itself, and the other mills are not that great. But at least I'm back to having some field presence. Zwei summoning a Dark Rever, flipping the Shadow Falco, which allows him to reborn a Shadow monster from his graveyard in face down defense position. which will be the Shuttle Beast. He's now thinking about activating the effect of Lava Chain, deciding what to ditch with it. Activates the effect, ditching another shuttle card, probably, yeah, a Shuttle Beast to the graveyard. Which lets him draw a card, and if he would have drawn a monster it wouldn't have been bad because he still has Dark Grapher. Synchro summoning both monsters for a level 6. Synchro, Goyo Guardian. Attacking with Lava Chain over the Lumina, dealing 800 points of damage. And attacking with Goyo Guardian over the other Lumina. So I don't know why he attacked with the... Why he didn't attack with the Goyo Guardian. I think it would have been game otherwise, so that's a bit strange. Small misplay there. Maybe he wanted to attack the wolf with the Goyo Guardian to prevent me from making a rank 4 next turn, but he decided to still attack the Illumina anyway, otherwise I would have been able to reborn a card. I'm considering my options now, but doesn't look that good. I have a Light Ray Diabolus on hand, which requires 5 light monsters in the grave to be special summoned. 5 light monsters with different names, which is a condition I don't have currently. Wolf in the battle phase, deciding what to attack. But I concede game 2 since I couldn't get my engine going and Sway already had it set up, so nothing else. So another quick game, going into game 3. This time we saw a more explosive Infernity loop, which is always cool to see after the ban list. Setting 1 back row and ending. Sway drawing to his Archfiend and attacking for 1800 points of damage. Me having a terrible hand. Only dragon on hand, 2 Judgment Dragons, 1 Tidal and a Solar Recharge, so no Lightsworn monsters to activate. Sway summoning a dragon and attacking with both his dragon and Archfiend. Overlaying for Lava Chain. Detaching the Drago to send a Shadow Falcon to the graveyard, which special summons itself. Still no Lightsworn monster for me to get things going. But I drew into a Phoenix Wing Wingblast, which should give me another turn. Activating Raigeki to getting rid of the Lava Chain, since as the longer it stays on the field, the more advantage Sway is able to create with it. But the Shadow Falco obviously special summons itself back into phase and defense position. So he avoided the Raigeki. Sway flipping the Shadow Falco, which allows him to reborn a Shadow monster phase and defense position. It's the Shadow Dragon. Normal summoning Infernity Necromancer. And me activating Phoenix Wing Wingblast, discarding a title to let him top deck the Infernity Necromancer. So he attacks with Shadow Falco for 600 points of damage, leaving me at my last 1900 life points. Finally a Lightsworn monster for me, discarding it with Solar Recharge, drawing 2 cards, a Necromancer and a Lumina, and setting 2 cards to the graveyard, another Solar Recharge and a Blaster. So not great mills, but at least I drew another Lumina. Summoning Lumina. Sway has no response, so the effect of the Lumina is activated. Discarding a Necrogardna to special summon another Lumina in defense mode. It's not much, but at least at this point I can mill 6 cards in the end phase due to the Luminas, hoping to like use the sackiness of the Lightsworn. The Lumina attacks over the Shadow Falco, dealing 400 points of damage, and in end phase milling 6 cards, which are pretty terrible mills as well. So this is the other side of Lightsworn, having a bad hand and bad mills. and that way the deck is not a threat at all. Shadow Dragon is flipped, allowing him to bounce a card back to the hand on the field. Deciding whether to do the monster or the back row, but he decides to do the monster to give him more field advantage. Attacking the Shadow Dragon with Lumina, but I want to activate a Necro Gardener in response, in which he activated a Imperial Iron Wall and I chained a Mystical Space Typhoon. Imperial Iron Wall says that no cards can be banished, so my Necro Gardener couldn't have negated the attack, but MST destroying the Iron Wall. Me drawing into another copy of Lumina. Setting my Lumina to defense mode, activating the effect of the Lumina. Discarding Lumina itself, which allows it to special summon itself in defense mode. And activating the effect of the other Lumina to reborn a Lila. Unfortunately, Sway has Bottomless Trap Hole, which he couldn't have activated if he had Imperial Iron Wall on the field, but since I MST'd it, he's now free to activate that card, banishing the Lila. Me going to the end phase, milling another 6 cards. One of them a Minerva, which needs to have another mill. And another Eclipse Wyvern and Necro Gardener milled. The Eclipse Wyvern allowing me to banish a level 7 or higher light or dark dragon monster from my deck, but since I have already used up 3 Judgment Dragons, either milled them or have them in hand. The only card I can banish is a Light Ray Diabolus. I think Sway is now has a pretty good hand to go off with Infernities. Activating Soul Charge, but not quite, because he wants to be handless, of course. Summoning Infernity Mirage, setting down the face down, and activating Soul Charge, paying 2000 life points to reborn an Infernity Archfiend and a Shadow Dragon. Or what is it? Can't really see because of the glare. The Infernity Archfiend allows him to search. Oh, it's the Shadow Falco that's reborn. Searches out the Infernity Launcher with the Archfiend, overlaying the Dragon and the Archfiend for a rank 4 monster. It's the Cascade, the Sky Blaster Musketeer, detaching 2 materials, shuffling a face-up card on the field back into the deck, which is the Lumina. So now he still has the Mirage and the Launcher, and the effect of the Necromancer, which he just activated, giving another search for the Infernity Archfiend, ditching the Infernity Avenger, discarding it with Launcher to become handless once again, synchroing for a level 5 monster, Ally of Justice Catester, activating the effect of the Infernity Mirage, which allows him to reborn 2 more Infernity monsters when he's handless, synchro summoning all 3 for the Scrap Dragon, activating the effect to destroy the Castel and the Lumina, activating the effect of the Infernity Launcher to reborn the Archfiend and a Necromancer. Archfiend once again triggers, lets him search another Infernity card from his deck, the Infernity Break, and Necromancer reborning another Avenger, synchro summoning the 3 for a 100 Ice Dragon. The effect of the 100 Ice Dragon is activated by banishing the Mirage, so the 100 Ice now has the effect of the Mirage, tributing itself, reborning 2 more Infernity monsters, and the Necromancer reborning another Archfiend, which triggers again, letting him search another Infernity card. So that's the Infernity loop right there, going insane plus by abusing the 1 Archfiend that's still left. 4 back row and 5 monsters on the field. It's pretty good, I'd say. Leaving the Infernity Archfiend in attack mode, obviously, for the Infernity Barrier, which requires an Infernity monster in attack. So yeah, that's the pretty strong field. Me drawing into a Raiden. I don't think Sway knows I have a Judgment Dragon on hand, so that if I was able to bait out the barrier and the breaks, I would have been able to drop the Judgment Dragon. I activate the effect of the blaster, but he responds with a Imperial Iron Wall. So I can't banish anything, so not special summoning blaster. Summoning the Raiden, Lightsworn hand, activating the effect, but Infernity Barrier is chained to it, negating the effect and destroying it. And now, here's the thing, I can summon a JD, and Sway can't activate the Infernity Break in response. Slight miscalculation on his side, because he needs to banish one of his Infernity cards to activate the cost, which isn't possible due to Iron Wall. So yeah, Judgment Dragon activates the effect, paying 1000 life points, getting rid of his entire field, and now I can activate the effect of my Dragon Rulers in the graveyard again, and do enough damage for game. So yeah, that slight miscalculation costed him game. I won't say it's a great win for me, stacking with Judgment Dragon, but yeah, a game is a game. Attacking with enough damage to bring his life point down to 0. So yeah, that was another feature match for you guys. Remember to like and subscribe, and also check out our Facebook page.